We're doing the thing. This episode is brought to you. It's a threefer by Steve Bannon's Handcuffs, by Kellyanne Conway's Resignation Letter, and by Jerry Falwell Jr.'s Unzipped Pants. And now here's a song. Ezekiel saw the wheel way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel way in the middle of the air. Doomaluma, 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 doomaluma. And now here they are, your invenerable host, Carlos Kareem Windham. Hey, everybody. I said hey too soon. Oop, oh, smoking the microphone. Nice job. You can hear my guest, which is great. I love it because I had told them already what it was going to look like watching me do this. And it does look like I had a stroke. It is insanity. Hey, everybody. The crowd goes wild. Oh, thank you. Well, good to see you, Raven. Let's see. What is this thing in the corner here? That's the stream quality update. It says we have good stream quality. I love doing this live. It's such a good idea. I'm really glad I thought of that. Guess what? We're going to do this live again on Thursday, the 27th, and this is going to be a very, very special one. No more special than today because everybody here is special. But I've been working to make this happen. And if you had been in any of my workshops, I have referenced this person's work before. We will be here with the one and only Janicia Francis, Jay from Tea with Queen and Jay podcast. We will be talking all that good womanist race nerd shit that we do. And then on Monday, August 31st, I am going to be back here with Ibutoke. Ibutoke is a priest of Lukumi, priest of Ochun. She is a choreographer. She is a dancero. She is, what else is she? She's a badass. Oh, yeah. She's also my god sister. So she's going to be here. And we're going to talk about black representation in Lukumi and in African spirit and in all that good stuff. And then on Tuesday, not even Thursday, Tuesday, the very next day, going to be here with the one and only DJ Carmen Spin Diego. We are going to be talking about all sort of stuff. We're going to be talking art, of course, but we are also going to be talking about why you might want to go ahead and just keep Kamala Harris's name out of your fucking mouth in either one of our presents. Hi, everybody. It's another show. We're doing another show. So good to see so many friends. Kenya, excellent. So happy to see you here. Glad that you are finally able to be here and that you're happy for the liveness of it. And Trinice, thank you for the good wishes. I know it always looks wild when I'm looking at the screens to get everything ready and not looking at you in your eyes, people. I do see you looking at you dead in your eyes. Shout out to my child who did, in fact, say the very thing that you saw in the run right before we got here to do this. Why are you doing this? It always takes so long. Oh, my God, you're so boring. Yay. Yay. I had permission. I did ask explicit permission to share that. Do you have a warm bevy today? Do you have a hot bevy? If you are anywhere on the west half of the nation, I guess you wouldn't need one right now, would you? Since I evidently, according to the president, we didn't rake up our fucking leaves in time for all of the fires and for fire season. Never mind the fact that most of who puts out the fires in the United States is made up of imprisoned folks and is prison labor, and that because of the pandemic, we had to release very many prisoners, which I support as an abolitionist. Also, too, that means we don't have firefighters. And now that there's fires, he's blaming not having rakes, which seems like it might be part of the problem. He's blaming that. And shout out too to my godson, who, when he saw me in my glasses, said, "Oh, those are great. Where did you just get here from 1983?" Very cute, very cute. No, actually, I need lenses big enough to hold my vision. I have a vision, and it's a big one. It's a big one. That's why I need these. And I am aware that each one of them is the size of a small television. So, with that, today, I'm going to be under the philosopher's tree again. So I'm going to quit gibbering and jabbering about all the things happening in the world, and I'm going to introduce my guest. Of course, I took down her page. Oh, God damn it. What have I done? Look at what I've done. Do you know, children, I do this to myself all the time. I'm just going to write it down. Watch me do this. I'm going to write a whole new one. I don't know. It's going to stop blooping on my thing. Yes, I did. And it's gone, and it's going to be fine. Perla knows who I am. She knows what it's like. She knows how it is to be in my world right now. Okay. All right. Okay. And, okay. All right. From, WeCount, Oregon, somebody who I've known for a very long time, somebody who is a friend, somebody who is a colleague, somebody who is a co-conspirator, I dare say, and somebody whose story I'm very interested to get more into. I would like to introduce to you Perla Lucio, and of course I wrote down your name wrong. God damn it, Perla! I'm just gonna bring you on, and you're gonna.
It's okay.
How long have I known you? Why did I do this? Here's your claps. Let me put some claps on for you. There they are. There they are. There they are.
Perla Alvarez Lucio. It's fine. We've only known each other for 10 years.
For only 10 years. I did this exact same thing just the other day. Listen, I have MS. It's not what happened. I get so excited and then I get spaced out. How are you?
It's okay. I'm doing okay. I'm good. I'm healthy and I'm here. So I'm good.
Yeah, that was a loaded question. Question.
Yeah.
How are you today? How have you been this morning? How'd you wake up today? Was it like oh my God, why am I alive day, or was it all right waking up today?
I think today it was all right waking up. Thankful that I'm here. One more day that I get to, be here with friends, spend time with my partner, my family.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
I'm good. Mm-hmm.
And when was the last time you found yourself in that place of like, oh my God, what, no, why is it?
Yeah. So I think it was actually last night. I was watching the news. The news, Twitter.
Yeah, what'd you hear last night? What was going on? What was the thing you were hearing?
Another shooting of a black man.
Yep.
The Republican convention.
Oh God, you watched it?
No, but I saw the news.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to watch it.
What the hell happened there? What did they do?
Well, I mean, I didn't even want to pay attention to it, to be honest, but it just kept popping up in my timeline. I was trying to browse in YouTube, and I kept seeing Trump's face. And Trump is not my favorite person.
Nope.
I'd rather not. Rather not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ugh. I think Scott Baio was meant to be there at some point. I don't know if he's still there or if he was the one who was replaced by the My Pillow guy. But
Oh yeah.
and then of course our guy Steve Bannon was supposed to be there speaking, but he's got different plans now. Trying to fight an indictment. So yeah, I can see why it might have taken you into a place.
Yeah, and then another thing is that I have people that I care uh, a lot about, and they went to the bank early in the morning. I think it was Friday morning to go get some money from the state to be able to pay rent, and they were just 5 yards from entering the bank to be able to obtain money, the relief funds that Oregon released, and they were just like a few people away from getting the money, and they didn't get the money. So they ran out at like 11
They
in the
ran
morning.
out.
They ran out. 30 million were distributed to Oregonians, and my tia was not able to get funding to pay for her rent, and she still has not gotten an unemployment check.
Fuck, Perla.
And she's 75 years old.
Jesus.
And of course with asthma and a lot of conditions, and yeah.
Oh my God.
So
Oh, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. It's yeah, the collapse is insane. I was listening this morning and I heard to a podcast, and I heard Giancarlo Esposito talking, and I didn't realize how dumb that man is until he was talking about well, one, when he started talking about race, that was wild distressing. And that I was in the shower. I couldn't turn it off. I was stuck. But before that, he was talking about how maybe it was okay if the whole thing just collapsed so something better and more beautiful can be built. And I was just thinking like, wow, what a privileged fucking thing to think. And clearly you don't think any of it's going to land on you. Just so gross. So gross. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, my thoughts and my prayers to your tia. That's fucked up. That's ugh. Oh, Perla.
yeah, well, at least she has community and family that care about her, so we're not gonna, of course, not gonna support her.
Yeah, no, I know you got her back. I
Yeah.
know you got her back. I just, oh my God. But that's how we do, right? Perpetually. That's how
Exactly.
we keep having to have each other's back.
Exactly.
Where's this system that's supposed to be taking care of its people? Where is the social contract? When is that happening? Have you ever had experience where the social contract was worth a shit?
Probably a few. I can't think of a specific examples right now, but yeah, I mean, uh, I was supposed to. So I'm an immigrant, as we've said this before, and I am a permanent resident. And I'm a permanent resident thanks to my dad, right, who submitted applications for me to be able to like arrive here to the state. But that process took 12 years. So we were supposed to be reunited as a family, way, way earlier, but it took 12 years for my family.
When was that 12 years?
to-
From
what
what
was
age
that?
to what age? When was that 12 years? What age to what
Well,
age were
yeah,
you?
I was 12. I was 12 when we were able to, finally come to the United States. Yeah, and be reunited as a family. So I only saw my dad probably once a year, the months of December to February.
And he was here?
Yeah, he was here working. And so he missed a lot of my childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, while growing up. But, that's the system.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you missed a lot of your childhood too, I would say, right? And I
Yeah.
say this not in a negative way, right? But I mean, it's one of the things that people I don't think understand when they meet folks who are wonderkind, right? Who are the young, brilliant forces of nature who are able to rally folk. That that is not a thing that was born
Hmm.
out of just playing with dolls. That comes from a place, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
when was the first time you found yourself needing to, or actively trying to inform a group around you and move a group around you? Do you remember what that was?
Yes. You want to hear about it?
Yes,
So
I do.
I
Yes, I
I really
do.
do think that my community service started really young, because so I wanted to be a nun. That was my calling when I was like 9 years old. I would hang out at the convent.
I was not singing my song today to make fun of you. I just want to be clear. I, d- but I'm going to tell you this too. It was between that or Cantate Domino. I was really going to get like full Latin on it for a second. Holy shit. Okay, so whoop. So okay, you were you, go on, please.
That's fine. I was very hardcore Catholic. I would hang. So at 9 years old, I would go to the church, right, every single weekend, Saturday and Sunday for like, I mean, classes were like an hour, right? And
Wow.
then I wanted to hang out with the nuns even after classes. So I would go hang out at the convent with them, and we would watch religious movies. I would help them sometimes
So
with the cleaning.
back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. What made
Yes,
you wait?
but I
What?
haven't gotten to the story.
Okay, go. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
But some of the other things that we would do, not only in the convent, we would go outside in the community, and then I would interact with like elderly people who were not, they were abandoned by their families. So
Okay.
they were living in like poverty, and so we would go spend time with them, clean their houses, cook for them, and spend time with them. Also with people who were sick, we would do the same. So I was like, I wanted to create an impact in the world. I was like, it's not okay that people are living like this. Their houses were not, they were not livable. It was
Right.
like, you know,
Well, what were
um,
they in when you say house? What was a house? What were
yeah,
you
I
encountering?
was trying. I'm trying to find the words in English, but it's like metal pieces, basically a box
A shanty town.
together. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And with holes, like it would smell like humidity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was not livable.
Mm.
Um, and so that's when I saw like injustice, right, in Mexico. Um, and I
¿Y de qué
wanted to
parte?
create an impact in the world in Mexico City.
Oh, in DF.
Uh, see,
Okay.
and so I was like, this is not okay how people are living like this. So I thought that I could create an impact by becoming a nun,
Okay.
because that's the nuns were the ones who took me to like do that, right?
Right. So how did you end up
Hmm.
with the nuns in the first place, though? Like,
Well,
was that just through church, and you were like, yeah, these
well, it was
ladies.
my first communion, and then I was trying to get more involved because then I would see like the kids who, like, after they did their first communion, they went into this group called Camino de Luz,
Mm-hmm.
and so then I was like, I want to be like them.
Okay.
So go to Camino de Luz, led by the nuns, and then that's how I ended up. And
Right.
then people would ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'd be like, a nun, for the community service aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I learned the church way, so then I would like teach people, like the
Mm-hmm.
younger kids about the church ways, all of that.
Nice.
Fast forward, I'm here and I'm like, Catholic Church who? What? Hell no.
So how long have you been a recovering Catholic?
For a really long time. Well, no, not really. It's been like since 2013, probably.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's not long.
not that long.
That's not long. So what was it? What was the crux for you? What was the thing that made you get to a point of like, nah, I can't. I'm not with this. I can't roll with y'all.
Ethnic studies. I
Oh,
learned the history of the church, of white people, of why Catholics came here in the first place, the murder of indigenous people.
mm,
I'm like, no, I'm not, I don't want to, no.
that's pretty incongruent, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who were you people when you were studying ethnic studies? Who were the one? What did you read that busted you open, or did you get to meet somebody, or what was the thing?
Well, I mean, multiple people. I don't remember necessarily what I read for ethnic studies, but I did meet one of my professors who's like one of my godmothers now, my madrinas in the Red Road, Ana Maureen Lara, um, who is one of my greatest teachers, right? And she holds a lot of like the the knowledge, that she shares with me, and she's passing down that knowledge to me, not only about like the history of our peoples, but
Mm.
ancestral knowledge as well. Down at the University of Oregon. And that was vague. I don't know how specific you want the
Yeah, yeah,
information.
yeah. What was it? What happened?
Well, I was just in this journey of like me being an angry college student because I was just like what's it called, like decolonizing my language, unlearning what I
Mm-hmm.
had learned about the world. In this journey, I wanted to learn more about my ancestry. I came to the United States wanting to assimilate,
Mm.
you know, to
Mm-hmm.
become more whitewashed. That's why I also went to a private school, because I thought that by going to that private school I would make it.
Mm-hmm.
That was not true.
Mm.
And so then I remember meeting my madrina and saying, well, I want to decolonize my knowledge. I want to get closer to the ancestors. Do you know where I can do this?
Mm.
She's like, well, I know a place. Do you want to let's start meeting weekly. So then she started teaching me about Mexica ways and things that I know now.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, no, I mean that's a real process. It's funny. I had a teacher who was not an ethnic studies teacher. We didn't have ethnic studies at the time, right? As you know, and I helped you know folks figure out how to make that true. And was helped by a lot of people in doing that. And one of the professors that I did have, who ended up falling under ethnic studies, Dr. Walleen Dodson, was somebody who, for me, did very much the same sort of thing, right? I was writing, I think, on hip hop in the lexicon of African American musical expression. And she was like, okay, go further back, go further back, go further back, keep going. And then she started talking to me about Palo, and she was talking about Cuba and Lukumi, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. But when I left there, I left the university very much like, okay, I'm going to be I'm going to learn how to be a priest and a drummer.
A priest. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do that now. So it was yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
decolonization is wild. How when you started making that separation from where you were to liberated way of thinking for yourself, what did you notice about the shifts in your community and your friends? Like, did that shift out for you as well, or were you able to keep the same group of people around you? What was that like?
No, I was able to keep the same group around me. I think the greatest shift was with my family. Like, because growing up, they would be like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I was like a nun. And then I was always in the church. So they knew that I was a church person. But, then coming back to Mexico, they're like, "Are you still going to church?" Because my family in Mexico is very Catholic. So
Okay.
they'd be like,
Okay.
and then I would be like, actually, not anymore. I don't go to church. And then in college, being the angry college student that I would come home and my mom would be like, let's go to church, because I would always go to church with her, and I'd be like, no, I'm actually gonna stay at home this time. And then she'd be like, why? And then I would try to kind of like make her change her mind, be like, well, because the history of colonization, they killed
Yeah.
indigenous people, and then I would get in fights with my mom, which it wasn't very great. So then,
Yeah.
now I've learned that to respect my mom's beliefs, but now she's also learned to respect my beliefs, right? And so that's been
Yeah.
nice, but it did create a little bit of tension at the beginning when I explained to her that I didn't want to go to church anymore,
Yeah.
or I didn't go with her.
Yeah, no, it's a shift. I mean, but if you as you had been a fighter for so long up to that point, right? I'm sure that by the time you had decided that you weren't going, there wasn't a
Yeah,
lot of discussion to be had.
exactly.
Yeah, just based on what I know of you. So I first got to know you when you were, I think you said 19 the first time we talked about this. You told me you were 19 years old when I met you. Is that right?
No, I was probably like 14, 15,
No.
be like 15. Hmm.
Wow. Okay. Yep. I'm so young. I'm so young. And it's so easy for me to remember all of these dates. It's nothing. It's
It's okay. I
nothing.
don't remember either.
Wow. That is wild. And met you. I mean, I guess we got to do some of the resume stuff too, because I want people to know why you're saying the next thing
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to be asking you. So I met you when you were with the Multnomah Youth Commission. By that point, you were president already, right? So how long had you been with
Yeah.
them by then? And what is the Multnomah Youth Commission?
Yeah, so the Multnomah Youth Commission is the official youth policy body for the city of Portland and Multnomah County. I still remember that elevator
Word
line.
for word.
Yeah, word for word. I actually started the Youth Commission when I was 13 years old in 2008. And then I stayed with them until 2013.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like 5 years or something like that. I began going to the meetings without really understanding what was going on, because it was barely my second year in the US. So I was in the process of learning English, and I do think that my English developed because of the Youth Commission. I was taking on leadership roles, leadership positions, and uh, yeah, I was the co-chair for like 2 years, and I think that's when I met you,
Yeah.
the the co-chair of the Youth Commission.
Yeah, you and
Uh,
Jose, I believe, were co-chairs, right?
uh-huh,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, and so we would meet almost every day. I mean, I was in different committees, so we would meet almost every day or
Yeah.
every other week, talk about what was going on in our communities. And I don't know if you were around this time when we were doing the Youth Against Violence
Mm-hmm.
work, yeah,
Yep.
in the city of Portland. And
Yeah,
one
y'all
of
were
the
doing
things
deep
that I,
work.
yeah, one of the things that I've like remember from those times is that all the conversations that are going on right now, we were having 10 years ago at the Youth Commission.
That's
All
right.
the policy recommendations that are up right now, we were talking about those at the Multnomah Youth Commission. The restorative justice conversations, we had those 10 years ago at the Youth Commission. We were telling elected officials. Did they listen? No, they didn't, and here we are. Mm-hmm.
Y'all was saying the same. I mean, I was talking about this with a friend, right? Because that was the whole principle of what Baldwin was talking about, the fire next time. Like, look, y'all could listen or you could find out.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all could listen or you could find out. But people are really we're past tired. We're past tired.
Mhm.
and even in past tired, able to keep foot to the gas. It's been, how many nights of protest is it now? How many days?
80
I've
something.
at 80
Six.
something. Yeah, I've literally lost track. I've
Mhm.
literally lost track. We have a question being asked. Uh, Y'all did all that with the Youth Commission in Multnomah. Willamette's already a stretch, not for PDXers. That is not a question. That's a statement. And it's a statement from Bo that I read quickly through to see if there was a question in it to share with you. And there's not one. There's not one. Bo gets down. Bo gets down. So, I was going to check in, you know what I'm saying? See what Bo got to say. So we
Well, shout
met.
out to everyone participating.
Hey, hey, hey. Oh yeah, this is the other thing that y'all don't know that you should know about what's going on for anyone who's under the tree with me is that they just see me. So this is like to Perla, this is like we on a phone call. So anytime I'm referencing y'all, you know, looks like I'm on one. Looks like I'm on one. Uh, All right. So with that, okay, you were at the commission for that long. You were doing all of that work, and you and I lost track a little bit from the time that you left the commission. Was around the same time I did, and
Mhm.
and what from so oh that's when you went. You were
To
in
college.
college after that, right? So
Mhm.
after college, you came back, and then what?
After college, I came back. Oh, and then I went with the Oregon Student Association first
Okay.
as a field organizer,
Mm.
um, registering students to vote in different colleges and universities, and also some uh, what else did I do? We put on the Oregon Students of Color Conference,
Mm-hmm.
where it's one of the largest conferences for students of color in Oregon, and and then after that, I became their legislative director with the Oregon Student Association, passing uh, policies and advocating for higher education funding so that they don't increase tuition because it's too
See.
expensive. But they always find excuses to increase tuition.
Oh, they'll find a reason.
And I was also trying to disarm U of O and PSU.
Mm.
But that bill, we had a hearing, but it didn't really go anywhere. It
Okay.
stayed at the hearing.
Yeah,
Hmm.
even when it doesn't go anywhere, though, that's one of the things, right? Because when you look at what y'all did, and then you look at what Elisa did after that, and you look at what other folks are going to be doing after that, right? Y'all softened the ground, right?
Mm.
Y'all were also following on the footsteps and on the heels of a lot of folks who, prior to the point that they had even armed the schools, right? Black activists in the community, Latinx activists in the community who had been
Hmm.
working very hard to prevent that. So it's
Hmm.
legacy work. It's
Exactly.
legacy work,
Yeah.
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 So you were a part of all of that, and you were doing legislative work at this point. How old were you when you began doing legislative work?
Yeah. Well, 23. I was the
Wow.
youngest registered lobbyist. uh, yeah, like last year, 2019, for the
Good
long
God.
legislative session. It was painful, but I made it through.
Good
I feel
God.
like I'm like this. I just like throw myself into like situations and I survived somehow. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
The ancestors, and all the people who have fought before me
and you learned how to
have
survive
helped.
as a very, very young
Exactly.
person, right?
Hmm.
There was far, far too much on your shoulders, right? And you learned how to cope with it. And so at this point, right,
Yeah.
you've got experience under your belt that both positive and negative. You wouldn't wish on anybody, right?
Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah. Now I have the tools to prep the next youngest lobbyist, because I wouldn't want anyone to go through the things that I went through.
Like what kind of bullshit did they try to pull? What I know these
Well,
ages month. Oh my God, what did they try to pull?
well, I mean, there was a lot of. It wasn't only from the legislators, right? But it was definitely, I could feel the ageism. I was the only person of color, in the higher education advocacy
Mm.
and the only immigrant, and the fact that I have an accent somehow made me more credible, right?
Okay.
So
Okay. Good.
I mean,
Take
less
it.
credible. Yeah, is that what I said? I think that's what I said. Less credible because I
Oh,
had an
less.
accent.
Oh,
So
God damn it.
yeah, no, I said I meant less credible.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, maybe they had their white guilt, like, had fucked with their heads, and they was like, oh shit, we got to listen to her lived experience.
No, it's because in my head I was thinking what I wanted to say is that I would sometimes bring my white colleague to the Capitol with me and then like ask him to speak because like I would say something and they would like dismiss it, but when he said something, like people would listen and like be like, oh yeah, you're right, you know? And so that was one
Mm.
of the strategies in which I survived the legislative session by bringing my white colleague to the Capitol with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
Mm. God damn. So yeah, so that's the kind of preparation you're talking about, like getting
yeah,
folks
yeah,
ready for, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about this for the longest, right? Because so many of these systems start celebrating that they've got the youngest or the first,
Hmm.
whoever, and
Hmm.
and it's like, yo, if your institution has been around for hundreds of years
Yeah.
and you just got the first,
Hmm. Hmm.
whatever,
And then there's so much bureaucracy. They're like, oh yeah, we're offering you a seat at the table. Yet the seat is probably like, you're like this, and the seat is like this, and the
mm,
table's like, there it's not accessible.
yeah, yeah,
And there's not a support system.
yeah. Well,
So that's
and
why
how
I'm
long have these other
fighting for,
legislators known each other too?
yeah, well, really long time. I don't know.
Mm,
I don't
okay.
know.
Oh, I'm sorry to bring you back to that trauma, girl. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's terrible.
You're
I can
fine.
see it. I can see it right in your face, like right there, right there. Oh, oh. All right. So, since then, we were given the opportunity to reunite. And could you share a little bit about how and why and what you're doing now, and
Mm,
what these people need to be doing if they've not done it? Y'all better.
yeah.
If anyone who's, let me say this first. If anybody who's watching this has not filled out your census at this point, and you've been watching this for any period of time, we love you. No shame in the game, but also shame on you. Perla, what are you doing now? And why are you doing it?
Hmm. Yes. So I am the field director for the We Count Oregon campaign.
Come on now. Come on
Uh,
now. Come on now. Hold on. I need a
hey,
DJ
hey,
holding on that.
hey, hey. Yes, so with the We Count Oregon campaign, which is an effort, a statewide effort to ensure that there is participation and a complete count of the hard to count communities in Oregon, which are immigrants, children under 5, um, native communities, renters, and there is one more that I am forgetting, but
Girl, I
low
forgot your
income
name right
people.
before I brought you on.
Hmm.
It's live. It's live. We're gonna edit it out. We're gonna edit it out. Don't even worry about it. So the last one
It's
is
fine.
low income people. You said.
Hmm.
Okay. Good. 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 Good.
Rural Oregonians
Rural
as well.
Oregonians. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. So this campaign has been going on since October. We are an education campaign, letting our people know it's for the community, by the community, letting our communities know why it is important to fill out the census. uh, is solely educational. We also just wrapped up our field program in which we made about 4 million calls to
come on
Oregonians.
now.
And so we had around, I would say 400, almost 500,000 conversations with Oregonians,
Damn.
reaching out to 213 people, 213,000 people. Uh,
Good
asking
God.
them to fill out their census. Yes, and it was a statewide campaign, again, for and by the community. We offered like 190 jobs through our census phone banking campaign. Um, and thanks to that, the response rate in Oregon, I think, was able to like, pick up because we were reminding people, especially in rural Oregon, to fill out their census.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and so filling out the census is very important because it means money, representation, and power for our communities. One of the reasons why I even, decided to get involved with the census when I saw the position open up is because of my experience as a lobbyist for higher education, right? The legislature, as I was advocating for more money into higher education, they would be like, well, there's no money. There's not a lot of, there's no money for education. And I'll be like, what? How come there's no money? So, and then I learned that actually filling out the census yields funding per person, right, to the state from the federal government. And that means funding for like higher education, right? So if we are able to count all the children, right, and high school people who are here in Oregon, then we can yield more money for higher education. And so we don't have to hear the excuse of we don't have money for higher education, so now we have to put up with tuition increases. But another reason why I got involved with the census is because I keep hearing that Oregon is so white. And while that is true for the most part, I look around my block and then I see, my neighbors, my Vietnamese neighbors, my Guatemalan neighbor, right? My black neighbor. And I'm like, well, that is true, but we are here. We're still here. Like, what about me? What about my neighbors? We are here. We need to get us counted. And so I know that, for example, an example is my uncle didn't really want to fill out the census, not because he was afraid, but because he was like, why should I even participate? Like, that's a scam. No, why? He didn't want to.
Yeah.
But because, I had conversations with him, and not just one, but multiple conversations with him. And one, he called me like a month later and he was like, Perla, I remember talking to you about the census. Can you give me the website to fill it out? I think I am going to fill it out. So,
Yeah.
that,
Well,
those
explain it
stories
to me.
are the
Explain
ones.
it to me like you did, like you guilted me, because you made me do it too. I'm going to tell the truth if nobody else going to tell the truth, because the way that we have met is I was brought up to talk to the folks who were doing some of this field work, yourself included, right? And to be a part of this training, but I was only there to be theoretically speaking about issues of race and gender, and knowing that there was going to be field work done around it. And I had admitted then that, the last time someone had knocked on my door asking me to do some census, I hid. I literally hid. I looked out the curtain. I saw them little white children with their little census shirts. I was like, nah, not even. And then I took the census and just kept it. I use it as an educational tool about how they categorize Americans, but I didn't take it. See, no, that's the face you made. Say again the thing you said to me about why I had to do it though anyways, because I was like, nah, this seemed like some bullshit. Why these people still got to do it? Anybody who don't want to do it.
I honestly forgot what I told you specifically, Carlos, but it's like our civic duty to do it, right? We gotta let them know that we're here, the white people, that we're here. We are here and we are present. But what did I tell you?
I mean, it was so many different things. I mean, first of all, like it was a full day of listening to a group of people who were as inspired, as brown, as down as you, and watching you wrangle so many of them, right? And y'all being there talking about like we're here to make sure that every single Oregonian gets counted because we're getting undercounted, right? So I remember that being part of it. And I remember that there was something else about some bullshit that Trump had pulled, trying to get something about immigration on the census, immigration status on the census, some shit. What was he trying to do?
So, well, like earlier last year, right? He wanted to include the citizenship question on the census. So he wanted to ask people whether or not they were U.S. citizens. And we were like, no. I mean, of course, that was ruled out, and there was no citizenship question on the census. But that we know that was strategic because the administration doesn't want to count immigrants, especially undocumented immigrants. And even though it didn't go through, right, and it was ruled out, a lot of immigrants didn't know whether or not that question was going to stay on the census.
Right.
So they're still afraid. They're still scared to fill out the census. And so, yeah, so that's why we exist, right? As the campaign that outreach to hard to count Oregonians to let our community know that that's not the case anymore, and that they cannot ask about citizenship questions, and that their information is safe under Title 13 of the U.S.
So what does that mean? Your information is safe under Title 13. What does that actually mean? Because the other folks who will talk about this, I mean, when you say immigrant, right? I know that's not just Latinx immigration, right? That we're talking about. We're talking about Senegalese, Ethiopian, whether you're from Bengal, whether you're from Eastern Europe, because capitalism has destroyed so much of Eastern Europe, and we have so many comrades who are here now with us. So when you're talking about immigration status, why was that used as a scare tactic in particular, do you think?
Well, because they want to stop resources coming into like vital services that we use, right? In Oregon, we know that a lot of the people who use like Section 8 vouchers, right, are immigrants. People who are working low-paying jobs. And people who are working in low-paying jobs are the ones who rely most on the services that the U.S. Census funding, covers, right? Like, like housing, healthcare, education, right? Such as free and reduced lunch.
I don't think as we're here now, it amazes me to think about how little curiosity or aptitude these people seem to be able to have to understand that the folks that you're trying to harm are the very same people that you've been telling us are essential workers since the COVIDs, and that everybody should get back to work, but there's no health care or tests for anyone to go. Huh. Almost like they think we're disposable or something.
Almost.
So weird.
Capitalism.
So weird. Well, at least you can get Coca-Cola almost anywhere, so that's a thing. That's a thing.
That's a thing.
I guess.
That's a thing.
I don't know. So how many more days do we have? Because didn't they just try some other bullshit? And I don't even know if they can do it. Can they even do this other bullshit they trying?
I mean, they're following through. Yeah.
Can they really?
Yeah. I mean,
because he said the last shit before though, and they couldn't do it. So the last thing they said was they was going to put a thing about whether you were an immigrant on the census. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and that was shut down. Wasn't that shut down by the Supreme Court?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Year.
Okay, so now they what was the deadline? What has been the deadline? What did we understand the deadline to be?
So before COVID, July 31st, right? And then COVID happened. Then we advocating for an extension. But we as like the We Count Oregon campaign, our campaign manager Esperanza, along with like the other national partners.
Okay.
Advocated for an extension. for it to be October 31st. So that was the
Okay.
extension uh, that was applied because of the COVID, right?
Okay.
Um, and then more recently, it has been shifted by the administration back a whole month. And if we already thought that our hard to count communities were hard to count because of the misinformation out there about the census, and we continue to shift the deadlines and timelines, and we are like, okay, so the deadline has been extended to October 31st, and then we go back and say, just kidding, it's actually now September 30th.
September
That
30.
creates a lot of more, yeah, more disinformation and more distrust, right? And so now our communities are like you're just playing.
Yeah, and now even more doubt, right? It's like now you make a liar
Yeah.
out of us because you telling us the wrong information. So now we don't have any right information to tell nobody.
Mhm. Mhm. So I know that there are different governors in around the U.S. who are advocating for the date to be kept on October 31st.
Okay, so they're actually working for that, but the administration
Yeah, but there's
is
no.
trying to move for this to happen
Uh-huh.
for September and doing this whilst trying to remove the mailboxes. Now, if that were because what is the impact then on the Oregonians that you're talking about if in fact the data's moved up and the mailboxes are gone?
Yeah, that's gonna be a huge thing in Oregon specifically. So, um, we apparently there's reports, right, that we are at like 80% in count in Oregon, which is really good, right? We are top seven. We're in the top 10 in the U.S. On response rates on the census, which is really good. Pero, pero the communities that are undercounted are Eastern Oregonians, especially in Umatilla County, where there is a lot of rural Oregonians who were only receiving their forms via mail or getting a visitor by the enumerator, right? So for those Oregonians who were receiving a census form via the mail, now they have to like send their forms like now so that they can make it to the US Census Bureau, because otherwise if they the longer they wait, like the less likely it is that they'll be counted in the US Census.
Right.
I was reading an NPR article that I think they said that any forms received after October 4th, they will not be counted in the US Census, right? Like, so you know, like September 30th is the last day for the census, but if the Census Bureau receives any form after October 1st, they will not accept it.
Wait, after October 1st, after the first, they won't even
October
accept
4th.
it. Or so after the fourth,
Yeah.
they won't accept it. But we know that the mail's moving, could move, uh, up to 5 or 15 days slower, right? So even if you get that
Exactly.
postmark for the 30th, they're like, nah,
Yeah.
see?
And it was an NPR article. So if y'all want to double check my info, it's an NPR article that came out
See how
earlier
they
today.
playing? See how they playing? See how they playing? Okay, so that means then we have, all right. So we have okay, so if we're doing civic duties, let's say you don't want you just can't bring yourself to vote for child. Let's just say you can't bring yourself to vote for child. Fine. 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 That still gives us what? A month, 2 months, right? No, a month. It was 2 months.
No,
A month.
a month and like
Shit, not
a
even
week.
a month. Not even a month. Fuck that. Wait a minute, because you said early. So not the 30th. When do they need it? When do we need people to get a postmark if they're going to be able to get a postmark?
I would say September 10th to
September
the
10,
15th, like that. You should. I would
15.
say yeah, send it. Yeah, around
Okay.
that time.
All right, so this is what this means then, right? Because if anybody, because the reason we're talking about the rural Oregonians, and in particular East Rural, right? We're talking about people who are not going to be having internet access necessarily, even if they have their phone. That's not, everybody doesn't have 5G, people, which by the way isn't giving you COVID. It's just making it so that you can watch this, and and that means that they also are not going to be able to do it online the way that you should do it online in a second. Not now. Wait until you get done with this. And do it on your phone. Do it on your phone. Unless you're watching this on your phone. Go do it on your computer. You have more than one computer, you selfish bastard. Go fill it out. So you're going to go fill it out, but you have to call anyone in rural Oregonian, any rural Oregonian who you know, anyone in rural Oregon, or, oh my God, Oregon. I can say it like a gun. That you know, and you got to get them to hand in that census. You got to get them to hand in that census. So you got to drive out there and hand it in for them. 3-hour drive, I know. But, what do we have? We have a month. 3 weeks, really. Good Lord. Good Lord.
Well, I mean, enumerators are also going around, and now they're counting people. Yeah.
So how can they know? How will they know that it's a numerator going around knocking on their door and not ICE and not the tax people? How do they know? How are they going to know?
Yes. So first, before entering the door, you can look outside, and they should be in a U.S. Census Bureau vehicle. So look for the car around your area, right? That's how you know that it's a U.S. Census Bureau person. They also carry visible badges for that same purpose, that they want to be identifiable, right? So if they don't have a badge that has the watermark of Department of Commerce, unless it's like Census Bureau, then they're not from the Census Bureau, right? But they should have it visible right there. They also have a device that they're going to be using to take down your information. So those are the signs of how to identify an enumerator.
Okay.
And if you just want to double check, you take your name and you can call the U.S. Census Bureau office to verify that they are a Census Bureau, like a census worker.
Okay, good. And somebody's asking right now that they're pretty sure they already did this online. This is a regular Trinice is asking, but they want to know if there's a way that they can check to see that they've already done it. Is there? Do you just try to do it again, or what do you do?
If you're not sure whether or not you've been counted, just fill it out again, and there's no consequence or there's no repercussions if you fill it out twice. They have their systems to know, whether someone submitted a form twice. But I would say fill it out again.
And it won't get counted twice, correct?
Yeah, exactly. You won't get counted twice. Yeah.
Okay, so white people, tell your white people, no, this is not people trying to get counted 3 and 4 times. Won't work.
This is just making sure. No, they have their systems to make sure that no one gets counted twice.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know whether people can check if they filled out the census. I don't know if there's I don't think there is a website where you can verify it. No.
Okay. All right.
Just fill it out again.
And if they can do it online, where should they do that? If anybody's watching now and they wanted to fill it out online, what should they do?
Yes. So go to my 2020 census.gov, G-O-V. And it should be a quick survey that is going to ask you about, your address, how many people live with you, race and ethnicity questions, your gender, although that is something that we have to change for 2030. Anyways,
speak to it. What's the issue with it?
Binary. It's binary. It only has female or male options. We need another way of reporting gender. It is. We know that it's not a binary. And we need to get.
I ended up having to be a him on the thing, and I just it gave me like a okay, but
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
yeah,
2030.
that's it.
Yeah. It's really quick. It's a quick survey.
Yeah,
Fill it out. Count. Make sure you count your children, everyone who's living with you, your aunt, your relatives,
fetus. I
your
said it.
ex.
I
Is that
said it.
living
I
with you
said it
now? Mhm.
because they live there too. Everybody in the
Mhm.
building. If you got cousins who's living with you, they count. Someone sleeping on your couch right now, that person count. Everybody who
Mhm.
live in your crib count. Everybody.
Mhm. Mhm. Even
Everybody.
if they're staying for a week, they
See?
count.
See? So what happens? Let me ask you this though. What happens? Because I know that this has been a trend in the last census. I don't know if it's one now, but I know that it's one that is even more encouraged from the way that the census is shaped, where they are trying to get indigenous folks, where they're trying to get Latinx folks, where they're trying to get anyone really outside of black folks to demarcate themselves as white, right? So you can be Latino white, Hispanic white, indigenous white. What happens if everybody's white? What happens to all the monies?
Well, I mean, the money gets distributed per person, right? So that's fine. However, if we know that a certain population, let's say Latinx people, benefit from this one service, let's say Medicare, this is me just making up, things, Medicare, then they'll see like, oh, look, there is less Latinx people because they get counted with the white people, right? And so there'll be like less funding for that one service. Let's make sure that we are filling out the form
Yeah.
with, you know, with what we identify. And for indigenous people, make sure that you mark that you're indigenous, and that the head of the household is marked as indigenous.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it matters very, very deeply. And just I think the other thing too, and we had talked about this as well, is that it is a way for the story of whiteness to be perpetuated in this country, right? It is one of the ways that they will tell a lie, like that Portlandia bullshit, that it's only white people who live here. If you think it's only white people who live in Portland, what that tells me is that you have never been on a bus on Christmas Eve in Portland. Cause
Or East Portland.
or have been to East Portland, perhaps ever, perhaps ever. So there's a complicated and complex history, and certainly white people have done everything they can to make it as white as possible, but they have failed. And this is another opportunity for us here to let them know. And for folks watching in any other state, I would say as well, you've got to fill out your census. This is not state specific. This is country. Yes. Do I have that right, Perla? Or
Yes,
am I saying that? Am I bullshitting?
yeah. No, it applies to the whole country and territories of the U.S.
And the territories. And the territories. We see you, Hawaii. We see you. We see you, Puerto Rico. I
Puerto
know,
Rico.
I know, 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 I know. Hurricane, there's no time. I know. Listen though. Listen. Better fill it out. Better fill it out.
Fill it out.
Call your tia. You better get it done. You better
Yep. Let's make sure we don't get a complete count in Puerto Rico. They've been getting hit by natural disasters, and there's little to no help from,
that bag of jizz and hate, motherfucker. So, what else can people do? How else can people get down, contribute? What are the other moves that your team would like for people to make, if there are other moves for them to make beyond just filling it out or harassing their neighbors and relatives?
Yeah. No, I mean, just share accurate information about the census, remind people that the deadline is coming up September 30th. But, like, actually do check up with like people that are close to you. I know we hosted a volunteer day event not that long ago where people like would call their close, like just their contact list, and encourage people to fill out the census. And we found out that like people's like grandparents or like their uncle or tia, like they had not filled out the census. So like check on people that you talk to regularly who you don't talk about like, the census necessarily, and check on them and whether or not they filled out the census, because they probably have not. And again, we want a complete and accurate count because we got to let them know that we're here.
That's it. That's it. Got to make it be represented. Oh, good. So we've done the politics. That's good. That's good. Oh my Lord. That is a deadline. So there are two deadlines. I don't feel relaxed. There's deadlines, damn it. There's deadlines. It's like 60 some days until the goddamn election, and then it's less than a month of this shit. Y'all got to get on it. Get on it. Get on it. All right. And with that, you also have to keep living an entire whole life. Perla, I know you've been living an entire whole life, and I am going to say that it was both an honor and a privilege, and I couldn't even believe that I was even invited to be at your virtual wedding. My God, that was so beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for being there.
Oh,
It
come
was
on
also an
now.
honor to have you there.
It was so gorgeous. Had me over here in my living room crying and shit. So
Yeah,
beautiful.
well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So very, very, very newlywed, right?
Yeah. Not even a month.
And under
It was
under and in the time of COVID, that
in the time
is
of COVID.
that's fate.
Yeah. Yeah. Those parents were visiting, and so we know that it's probably not likely that they'll come back before 2020 is over, because they live all the way in Mexico. So we just decided to do it as they were here. Pull the whole thing together in like 2 weeks,
Come
and
on.
it was one of the best decisions because I love my partner so much.
Absolutely. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. Well, good. Well, Perla, thank you so much for being here. I'm not going to keep you for too much longer. We'll let these people get on their way because they have a census to fill out,
Exactly.
and we can have fun later. Go do this. Perla, thank you so much for being here. Really, sincerely, I appreciate it, and thank you for your time, for the information, for sharing some of yourself and your own story. The strength that you do show. I don't think that people understand very clearly that while you will crack a whip and get somebody on their P's and Q's, that the way that you're able to do it with so much empathy, so much love, compassion, and real solidarity in the struggle, which is due to both your lived experience, obviously, right? But there is a stronger core that is clearly innately who you are, which, right? I didn't know any of that about the want to become super nun and go fix the world that way and do it like that. You know what I'm saying? So clearly, like, you've been driven by this light that you've shared, but you also, it requires quite a lot of vulnerability, and there's a strength there that I think speaks to why it is so important that we follow women, and we follow family leadership, and show the due deference, the deference that should have been shown you because of your accent, right? Not in spite of it, and not that it should have turned into some other bullshit with them legislative people. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for sharing some of that here. Really, really sincerely appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Carlos. It was an
Yeah.
honor being your guest, and thank you for that offering of your beautiful words.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody, One more time, one more round of applause, please, for Perla. There it is. There it is. Well, I think we did a motherfucking show. I think that's about it. You know what I mean? Wow. The y'all know what it is when all my friends. I've told you. All my friends are geniuses. We've also had this talk about that. The sort of craft, skill, artistry, innovation, fury, fire that loads up so many of these people comes from lived experience and comes from a place, and it is only through practice and through getting to a place of grace that kind of energy is able to be harnessed, right, and used for the benefit. And I've spoken to you all many times before about what it means to always keep yourself surrounded by mentors, not just those who are your elders, but those who are younger than you as well. Because if you want to understand what's happening, boots on the ground, and in the future, and in the generations at present, and how these Gen Zers are the ones leading the charge right now in the streets. How these very young millennials are the ones leading the charge in legislation. You better open up your ears. You better open up your ears, Hunty. They got lessons. And there's value there. There's wisdom there. Listen, this has been fantastic. So thank you. Please do go fill out your census. Very important. And join us here. I'm going to be here again tomorrow. We're going to be bullshitting, and then I'm going to have a guest on Thursday, and then we'll be bullshitting again on Friday. You know what we're doing. Wednesday, I guess, as well. I know what day it is. Hey, this has been Smoke and Mirrors. If what we do here is worth a shit to you, you could become a patron. And the way to do that is to go over to Patreon at SNM. Patreon at SNM, my lord. Patreon. See, nope. I'm coming back for a second. Hold on. Fuck all that. I fucked that up so bad. That was ridiculous. Let's do it again. Okay. All right. Here we go. Hey, if this is valuable to you at all, one way you could support it is to become a patron of Smoke and Mirrors. You can become an S&M patron at Patreon at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. If you do that, then you are going to get your very own Carlos Kareem Wyndham trading card. The only way to get one of those is to be on the show or to end up becoming a patron, as did Ruthie, Erica, Amber, Aaron, Seth, Lisa, Kristen, Renice, Michael, Natalie, Juliet, Tarika, and Tracy, who brought this show to you. Once we get to 20, I'm gonna stop reading those names. I am, and we're just gonna let them run, and then we're gonna have a new treat and incentive for other folks. The other thing that I would like to offer is this: if you have an idea for a guest, a topic, a quandary, you want to send this to your racist uncle in East Oregon, and then have him fight with someone about it, send them to me. Send them to me. No reason to send them to Perla. You send them directly to me at smokeandmirrorsccb@gmail.com. You can also look at some of the past and present guests. You can see the links to the YouTube page to any of the shows that we have done before by going to IG at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. That's right, our own Smoke and Mirrors IG. It is no longer my personal IG. Get the fuck up off my page. Also, if you would like to see the words and not have to hear the voice, you can do that at Twitter at Caballo Negrito. For the monolingual set, it's none of your fucking business. If you wanted to drop a dime on it but did not want to make the commitment, you are more than welcome to do so. There are 3 places that you may be able to see at the bottom of the page right now. I'm not going to shout those out right now. What I would ask this is instead, please go ahead and just share the thing. share the thing. We call that passing the J. Share the show. Share it on your page. Share it to a friend. Share it in a message. It doesn't matter where you share it. Just make sure that whoever you think needs to see it gets to see it. What I would like to do, instead of asking folks to contribute that $5 on it that you may otherwise contribute to the show, if you would please contribute that $5 on it, I would like to offer that we will make sure that that gets to Perla's tia, because that's some bullshit, and fuck all of that. So if there is a Cash App that is appropriate, Perla, is there one that you would like to shout out, or should we just collect that and then get it to you?
I don't have a Cash App, so.
Okay. So what we're going to do is this. Go ahead and you can Venmo Carlos Dash Wyndham. You can Cash App at $CK Wyndham. You can hit me at PayPal /me dot CK Wyndham, WINDHAM, like the slaveholders who made the jazz records, not the slaveholders who made the hotels. And if you drop something there, do me a favor, leave a note. Just leave a note that says for tia. If you can't do that, say Perla. If you can't do that, I can't say Spanish names like English. Perla. Oh, God. Oh, fuck, you're going to make me barf. Okay, so write that there, and I will make sure that that gets to her tia, because, you know, this government ain't taking care of nobody. We're going to take care of each other. Fuck them. That's not how we do it. This has been Smoke and Mirrors. It has been produced and hosted by myself. That's Carlos Kareem Wyndham. I've said that a couple times now. This has also been produced by Tracy Tatamy. We're going to be back tomorrow. So until then, take care of yourself, would you? And take care of each other, and wash your hands. And if you're going to go outside, for the God's sake, do me a favor. Go ahead and wear a mask. And then, but don't go outside also, because I love you. This is only by request. I'm going to get in trouble with my daughter for it. I told her only once. This is your fault. All right, this has been a very special episode of Smoke and Mirrors. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Thank you, Carlos.